Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. The US military says it has carried out another strike on a boat in the eastern Pacific Ocean. It claims it was involved in drug smuggling, killing one person. In a social media post, US Southern Command said intelligence indicated the low-profile vessel was traveling along known narco-trafficking routes and engaged in illegal activity. The military did not release evidence to support the claim, and further details about the strike have not been disclosed. US military aircraft were seen operating at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in Puerto Rico as Washington steps up its military presence amid rising tensions with Venezuela. In Venezuela, Congress has approved legislation aimed at protecting the country's maritime trade in response to the US confiscation of oil tankers. Speaking to local media at a trade show, President Maduro said the law, titled Law to Guarantee Free Navigation and Trade Against Piracy in the Seas of the World, passed its first discussion in Parliament and would likely become law within days. The Australian government says it is preparing tighter national gun and hate speech reforms following the mass shooting at Bondi Beach. 15 people were killed and dozens injured during a Jewish Hanukkah celebration, an attack that has reignited calls for stronger gun laws and tougher action against anti-Semitism. Police records show more than 70 people in New South Wales each legally own over 100 guns, with one license holder possessing nearly 300. A brawl broke out in the Turkish parliament between members of the ruling AK party and the opposition Republican People's Party on the final day of budget talks. The fight began with an argument between two lawmakers and quickly escalated as others joined in. The footage shows MPs throwing punches and pushing each other during the chaotic scene. Turkey's foreign minister, along with senior military and intelligence officials, held talks in Syria as a deadline approaches for a stalled deal between Damascus and Kurdish-led forces in the northeast. Speaking beside his Syrian counterpart, Hakan Fidan said discussions focused on folding the Syrian Democratic Forces into the new national army, Israel's sanctions in southern Syria, and the fight against the Islamic State. Ankara opposes the SDF joining as a single unit, calling it linked to the PKK. While partial agreements are reported, key issues remain unresolved, raising fears over renewed conflict if no progress is made by the year's end. President Donald Trump has unveiled a new class of US warships that will carry his name. Speaking to reporters at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, Trump said that Trump-class ships will be the largest battleships ever built, both in the United States and worldwide. Details on design, construction, or funding have not yet been released. The Trump administration has suspended leases for 5 major offshore wind projects under construction along the East Coast, citing national security risks identified by the Pentagon. The suspension, effective immediately, is the latest in the administration's push against renewable energy, coming 2 weeks after a federal judge struck down President Trump's executive order blocking wind projects as unlawful. Officials say the pause will give the Interior Department time to coordinate with the Defense Department and other agencies to assess and mitigate potential security concerns. No specific risks were disclosed. Wind energy proponents criticized the move, calling it another blow to the clean energy sector. Donald Trump said the US needs to have Greenland, emphasizing national security rather than its mineral resources. Last Sunday, Trump named Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry as his special envoy to Greenland, drawing renewed criticism from Denmark and Greenland over Washington's interest in the mineral-rich Arctic island. The partial release of the Jeffrey Epstein files by the US Justice Department has drawn heavy criticism. Several victims slammed the Trump administration for the slow pace of release and heavy redactions. So far, over 13,000 files, including photos, videos, and investigative documents, have been released. But many documents are heavily blacked out, with some spanning 100 pages or more. Trump also reacted, saying people who innocently met Epstein risked reputational damage and blaming Democrats for pushing the release as a political distraction. Asked about photos of former President Bill Clinton, Trump said he hated to see them but claimed that's what most Democrats and a couple of bad Republicans wanted. Donald Trump has said that talks to end the war in Ukraine are going okay. He blamed what he called the hatred between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin for the delay in ending the war. The Democratic Party has said it would move to impeach President Donald Trump if it wins a majority in the Congress after the 2026 midterm elections. House Speaker and Republican Mike Johnson, speaking at a Turning Point USA event, warned that the midterms are critical. He said that if Republicans lose control of the House, the radical left will create absolute chaos. Johnson's comments underline growing partisan tensions ahead of the 2026 elections as both parties position themselves for a potentially decisive outcome. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro showed off his dance moves with an unusual partner, an AI-powered robot that grooved along to traditional Venezuelan Christmas music. The unexpected moment occurred during the inauguration of Expo Motores Productivos 2025, a trade fair which showcases producers from various sectors in Caracas. US Vice President J.D. Vance took part in training exercises with US Navy SEALs at the Naval Amphibious Base in Coronado, California. The visit gave him a first-hand look at special operations training and tactical operations conducted by one of the military's elite units. Officials say the exercise is part of ongoing efforts to strengthen coordination and understanding between civilian leadership and the armed forces. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has hailed a government decision to establish a commission of inquiry into the October 7th attack, assuring the public that it would not be influenced by politics. The move comes after opposition parties and much of the Israeli public called for an independent investigation into the events surrounding the 2023 Hamas attack, which claimed the lives of over 1,200 people. Opposition leader Yair Lapid criticized the move, claiming it gives the government control over the hearings, witnesses, and agenda. A small Mexican Navy plane carrying a young medical patient and 7 others has crashed near Galveston, Texas, killing at least 5 people. Officials say the cause of the crash is still under investigation. In a statement, Mexico's Marines offered their deepest condolences to the families of those who lost their lives. Eleven Ecuadorian military personnel have been sentenced to nearly 35 years in prison each for the forced disappearance of 4 minors whose bodies were later found burned in 2024. According to testimony from family members and video evidence, the victims, aged 11 to 15, had gone out to play football in the violent port city of Guayaquil before being detained by a patrol of the Ecuadorian Air Force. Thousands of miners and rural workers marched through Bolivia's administrative capital La Paz, demanding the repeal of a government decree that partially removed fuel subsidies. Protesters filled central avenues, carrying signs reading "Death to Supreme Decree 5503" and chanting against what they called a neoliberal measure. The unrest centers on Supreme Decree 5503 issued last week, which rolled back subsidies that for more than 2 decades kept domestic fuel prices far below international levels. The move has doubled gasoline prices and tripled diesel costs, sparking anger among unions and transport workers who warn it will push up food and transport costs for Bolivia's poorest citizens. Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir positions his country as protector of the Muslim world. He pledges military support to Libya, evoking religious ties and warning that Muslim countries have been weakened by loss of technological knowledge. Vince Zampella, one of the creators behind such best-selling video games such as Call of Duty, has died at the age of 55. The company did not disclose the cause of death. In 2010, Zampella founded Respawn Entertainment, a subsidiary of EA, and he also was the former chief executive of video game developer Infinity Ward, the studio behind the successful Call of Duty franchise. The Call of Duty franchise has sold more than 500 million games worldwide. The first-person shooter game debuted in 2003 as a World War II simulation. Subsequent versions have delved into modern warfare, and there is a live-action movie based on the game in production with Paramount Pictures. Delhi, Noida and Ghaziabad woke up to hazy conditions as air quality across the region slipped into the very poor category. According to the Air Quality Early Warning System, conditions in Delhi are expected to remain very poor for at least the next 3 days. Looking further ahead, air quality is forecast to fluctuate between the very poor and severe categories over the following days, raising continued health concerns for residents. A video circulating on social media has captured floodwaters surging through the town of La Roque in southern France after heavy rainfall caused the river to overflow. France's weather agency, Meteo France, has issued a red alert for the Hérault department, warning of exceptional flooding along the lower Hérault River. TikTok Shop has rolled out a new feature that allows users to purchase digital gift cards, making it easier to help friends and family buy from the millions of products on the app. The move into digital gifting puts TikTok Shop in direct competition with e-commerce giants like Amazon and eBay, which already offer gift cards. TikTok Shop has also recently expanded into luxury retail, another move to solidify its footing in e-commerce. Users can load the gift cards with anything from $10 to $500. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan's philanthropic arm, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, has cut all ties with pro-immigration and criminal justice group FWD.US. FWD.US was founded by Zuckerberg in 2013 to advocate for immigration and criminal justice reforms. This pro-immigration, pro-criminal justice reform advocacy group was founded by the Facebook founder in 2013. This organizational disengagement follows a realignment of Meta's organizational ideologies to support the political environment created by the re-election of US President Donald Trump. An investigative report best known for exposing fraud at Silicon Valley blood testing startup Theranos sued Elon Musk's xAI, Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, Meta Platforms and Perplexity for using copyrighted books without permission to train their artificial intelligence systems. The New York Times reporter and Bad Blood author John Carreiro filed the lawsuit in California federal court with 5 other writers, accusing the AI companies of pirating their books and feeding them into the large language models that power the company's chatbots. The lawsuit is one of several copyright cases brought by authors and other copyright owners against tech companies over the use of their work in AI training. Oil prices slipped in early Asian trade after surging more than 2% in the previous session as markets weighed geopolitical risks against expectations of ample supply. Crude dipped slightly below $62 a barrel. Prices had jumped after the US said it may sell or keep Venezuelan crude seized under sanctions, even as analysts noted global supply should remain comfortable in early 2026. Traders are cautious and price sensitive to further developments. Spot gold hit a fresh all-time high in early Asian trade, extending a powerful rally driven by expectations of interest rate cuts, geopolitical tensions, and strong central bank buying. Prices surged above $4,497 an ounce after jumping more than 2%. On Monday, safe haven demand intensified amid rising US-Venezuela tensions and uncertainty over future US Federal Reserve leadership. Silver followed gold higher, also hitting a record, while platinum and palladium posted sharp gains. Gold is now up nearly 70% this year, marking its strongest annual performance in decades as investors seek protection from economic and political risks. The yen firmed slightly on Tuesday after Japan issued its strongest warning yet against sharp currency moves, signaling readiness to intervene as the yen hovered near recent lows. Broad US dollar weakness also helped lift the Japanese currency. Still, analysts say near-term yen weakness may persist after the Bank of Japan struck a cautious tone following last week's rate hike, suggesting a slow pace of tightening ahead. Officials say intervention remains an option, especially during thin holiday trading, but markets see no action unless the yen breaks sharply weaker beyond recent levels. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has said that Brazilian forward Gabriel Jesus could start for the Gunners in their League Cup quarter-final match against Crystal Palace later today. Jesus scored a hat-trick in Arsenal's last 8 win against Palace last season. The Brazilian then spent 11 months on the sidelines after he ruptured the anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee. Premier League leaders Arsenal face Palace at the Emirates, desperate to end the club's 6-year trophy drought. '21 champions Senegal begin their Africa Cup of Nations campaign against Botswana. The Group D fixture takes place in Tangier, Morocco. The Teranga Lions dominated qualifications by going unbeaten across 6 matches. Historically, Senegal boasts a strong AFCON opening game record, remaining unbeaten in 15 of their 17 tournament openers and winning their last 5. Botswana arrived in Morocco for only their second AFCON finals appearance after last featuring in the tournament in 2012. Brendan McCullum wants to stay on as England coach despite the Three Lions drubbing at the hands of Australia in the ongoing Ashes. However, the New Zealander admitted that a decision on his future will be out of his hands. England are 3-0 down in the 5-match Ashes series after just 11 days of cricket. They were outplayed by an Australian team. McCullum is contracted to England through the end of the 50-over World Cup in 2027, a period that includes the next home Ashes that very year. The Iglesias Kornikova team has a new star player. Pop icon Enrique Iglesias and former tennis professional Anna Kornikova surprised fans by announcing the birth of their 4th child, who was born on December 17, 2025. The couple shared a tender photo showing the newborn snuggled in a hospital bassinet next to a stuffed cloth. The post was simply captioned by Sunshine 12/17/2025. The pair have yet to reveal the baby's name or sex. Nick Jonas has once again cemented his status as India's favourite brother-in-law. Ahead of his tour stop, the singer posted a high-energy video of him and his family grooving to the 1980s Bollywood classic Aap Jaisa Koi. In the caption, Nick paid his tribute to Bollywood legend Zeenat Aman. The city of Manchester stood still as hundreds gathered at Manchester Cathedral to pay their final respects to Gary "Manny" Moonfield, the legendary bassist for the Stone Roses and Primal Scream. Manny passed away in November at the age of 63. The funeral was a who's who of British culture, with attendees including Liam Gallagher, Paul Weller and Bobby Gillespie. Representing the city's sporting heritage, football legends David Beckham and Gary Neville were also in attendance. Manny's coffin was decorated with the iconic lemon-themed artwork from the Stone Roses debut album. It was carried by his former bandmates Ian Brown, John Squire and Rennie, alongside Gallagher and Gillespie, as the anthem "I Wanna Be Adored" played for the crowds waiting outside.